balmy 32 degrees. Sounds like a perfect opportunity for not one, but two cold starts. If you were wondering why it smokes like that, it's because there's unburnt fuel in the cylinders burning off without much heat in the cylinders. Welcome to diesels, boys. Good morning, Denali. I see you got a little bit of frost on you there. Ooh, it's getting chilly. And a cold start on a 2019 5th gen Ram. I think we're gonna name this one Delmonico. Should we just name it a Fine Cut? I don't know, we'll figure that out some other time. I'm not gonna lie, I took this one to the gym this morning, so it's not technically cold, but still sounds great though. So I guess the big question is at the beginning of this vlog, what side are you on? The 6.7 Cummins or the 6.7 Power Stroke? Do you prefer the V8, prefer the inline 6? You're gonna have to drop a comment below and let me know, and you should really smash that thumbs up button because what better way to start a vlog than two mighty fine sounding cold starts?
Guys, listen to this. Oh my gosh. That thing literally sounds like a jet taking off right now. And my oh my, is it a great sound.
Is it a driveway or a runway right now? I don't know. We got this interesting plane vibe going on right now. So today, boys, we're rolling squad deep back to Standout Specialties with not just Dream Diesel giveaway number 14, but also the new Delmonico 5th gen Cummins. Kind of part of the reason being is today we are reviewing one of, if not the cleanest quad cap OBS FUMMINS that I've ever seen in my entire life. And what better way to bring in that excitement than bring both our 6.7 Power Stroke and our 6.7 Cummins. Now, if you've had your face mask over your eyes over the last few days, then you probably missed the announcement that that truck right there, the Kelderman Air Ride 6.7 Power Stroke, is Dream Diesel giveaway number 14. So not only are we giving you the chance to win that truck, but we're also gonna give you $15,000 cash on top. Now, mind you, 10 times entries end the 23rd. So if you're seeing this video on Sunday the 22nd, then you have just a few hours remaining before they're gone. So Jake's cruising that truck today. I'm cruising the 5th gen. And well, I would say that we're gonna properly sweep the streets. Also, a lot of you guys were asking why we didn't have our bullet antenna on this truck. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, Enthusiast now has CNC true to spec 50 cal antennas for most 2000 plus diesel trucks. And part of the reason we don't have one on number 14 yet is because we made a very small batch in the beginning getting the manufacturing right, and they've all since gone already. So we're getting them to you faster than we can enjoy them ourselves, but we've got a new batch underway, and well, one will be on that thing here very shortly. So if you guys wanna check them out, head to the site. Plus there's a ton of new products on the website right now, as we've recently made some changes to where the production is handled for enthusiasts. Needless to say, as a result of these changes, we're gonna be introducing a lot of really badass new products soon. Plus, there are a lot of website changes coming as well, so for those of you who have seen the site over the last year and a half, be on the lookout for some really awesome changes. Right there is a proper way to roll up for the occasion that we have today, boys. So ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Standout Specialties here in Brownstown, Pennsylvania, my local Lancaster County peeps. This is right conveniently located off Route 222 in the neighboring town of Ephrata, PA, which also happens to be my old hometown in Lancaster. It's kind of cool to have a very healthy automotive culture in the area that you live, obviously because we're enthusiasts. But one of the owners, Aaron, actually right over there, has an absolutely beautiful, if not one of the coolest FUMMINS OBS Power Stroke, well, Cummins Power Strokes that I've ever seen, and it is right here. Today, we are honored with the privilege to make a video for all of you with this thing. There's a ton of stuff that we need to cover on it because it's truly beautiful and one of a kind. So Standout Specialties, they do exactly that. They help your vehicle stand out. They specialize in wheels and tires. They've got a whole bunch of different brands and a ton of stuff in stock. So anybody local, you guys are welcome to come here and see what they have to outfit your ride, or you can hit them up and they can ship. I'm gonna leave their information down in the description below. So it wasn't only but a few weeks ago where we were standing in this exact same spot with our boy Onyx here, and they hooked us up with these badass American Force Atom. They completely transformed this truck into the monster brute that it is today. But while we were here, I happened to lay my eyes on Aaron, one of the owner's trucks, and I absolutely fell in love. I'm not exaggerating in saying that this is easily one of the coolest OBS FUMMINS that I've ever seen my entire life. Check this thing out. Decided to bring our Cummins and Power Stroke because we were celebrating the embodiment of this creation right here. Easily one of the sickest OBS crew cab FUMMINS Ford Cummins trucks I've ever seen, literally ever. And today we're gonna be doing a video on it with you guys. There's a lot of things that make this truck what it is, and we're gonna go into all of that, and then we're gonna take it out for a cruise, and we're gonna share with you guys the awesome euphoria and experiences and sounds that this thing right here generates out of its compound turbos. Yeah, boys. This is a sick one. Man, oh man, talk about a lineup of Ford. Between an Air Ride F250 and then we've got its great, I don't even know how many generations of great this would go out, to the 1993 generation that we're blessed to be around today. This thing is iconic in so many different ways, and it's really cool to make a video about an OBS because these things have so much nostalgia in this aftermarket community anymore due to the fact that they are just timeless and iconic for their year. And I think as generations come out and improve and get better and bigger and newer with more technology, I think we become more and more appealed to appreciating the lack of technology that was associated with what is truly a diesel truck, something that's purely mechanical and works in a very simplistic fashion. Now, as you guys know, OBSs and classic diesels in general are extremely hard to come by, and if you're gonna buy one, likelihood is it's probably not in the best shape unless you pay a boatload of money for it. Chances are it'll go one of two ways. You can either get one for a relatively decent price, but it's gonna involve a ton of work, or you could pay top dollar for one in very good condition, but then you kind of get to another decision that you have to make. Do you want to leave it in that purest form, not touch it and preserve its originality, or do you want to get one that's somewhat of a project and then make it absolutely sick, kind of like this one right here? So Aaron, one of the owners of Standout Specialties, owns this beauty right here, and it has been a work in progress. One of the coolest things about going this route is that there's never really a point where you're done. Rather, it's kind of just an evolutionary phase of modification. So you kind of get to a point where you're like, all right, I'm pretty happy with it, you enjoy it as is, but then the beauty of having the old truck is you can just tinker with it however it is that you want. Aaron's owned this thing since 2014, and it's changed a lot. There's pretty much nothing that's been untouched on the truck to get it the way that it's looking today, and it looks so sick. There's absolutely nothing that I can say that doesn't look good on this truck, and you know, you can kind of see why we wanted to bring out number 14 just to kind of, well, flex on Ford Nation, I guess maybe is the right way to say it. I don't know, but yeah. So there's a ton of information that we got to get covered on this thing, and I think to kick it off, we got to start in one very particular area. And that would be under the hood. Yes, guys, this is a 1993 four-door long bed OBS Power Stroke that was originally an IDI diesel, but now it's got a 95 12-valve P-pump twin turbo, aka compound turbo Cummins under the hood. And not only that, it's not like it just kind of flows into some stock bare bones, not all that exciting transmission. Rather, it's got, wait for it, a ratchet shifter. Of course, because if you're gonna do it, you gotta do it 100% or none. All right, guys, so what's under the hood here is an essentially fully built 12-valve Cummins with big injectors, a fully built P-pump, and compound turbos all bolted up to a Steed Speed 2nd gen manifold. On the manifold sits an S363, and in the atmosphere, a big old American-made S485. An absolute brute and beauty of a twin turbo setup, to say the least. Fits in here almost as if International and Ford knew one day that their IDI diesels would be known as the slowest diesels to basically ever be put in diesel trucks. Now, that IDI, just for reference purposes, is non-turboed, so they are very much snails, but very reliable snails at that. So it's got a ton of things done to it. I'm not gonna go into all the information, but it's basically got a built top end. It's got marine pistons. It's got aftermarket rods and crank, and pretty pretty much everything else. So it's very much done very right. And as I had mentioned, putting power to the ground is a Muldoon's 47 RH with a full manual valve body ratchet shifter. That there, boys, it's pretty badass. Now, power-wise, I'm not exactly sure what it makes, but needless to say, it's gonna make a lot of really great sounds, both up front and in the back. Now, a little bit about the exterior. This is a beautiful green. I cannot recall the name exactly. I'm gonna butcher this, but my subject matter experts, feel free to comment below. I believe it's called tremelling green. And I also believe that I completely butchered that pronunciation, but I'm doing my best. You guys know the color I'm talking about. It's a super flaky metallic forest green. Absolutely badass color. Now, this build was essentially a frame off restoration. The whole frame has since been powder coated, and as you guys can see, it is in ridiculously good condition. If you know anything about how hard it is to source a very clean OBS, then I know you're really gonna appreciate that. Now, this truck is essentially leveled, but there's more than meets the eye. It's actually riding around on 05 Power Stroke axles, both in the rear and in the front, which enabled the ability to do modern suspension componentry. And as you can see, it's running from our good friends Flight Fab, their drop bracket, 4-link setup in the front, and then traction bars in the rear. It's also got PMF coils, Fox shocks, and a PMF dual steering dampener bracket right up front. So the really nice thing about that is you have a Cummins powertrain, the badass OBS body, and the ability to run modern suspension componentry. Nonetheless, it's kind of the best all around. And in true Standout Specialties form, these guys are constantly changing the wheels on this thing, but right now, it's rolling around on 2614 Fittipaldis with this new Venom Terra Hunter, which is a 351326. That, boys, right there is a massive freaking wheel. So what I really love about these classic body style trucks, or I'm gonna kind of refer to it as an antique at this point in time, is that it truly enables the authenticity of the enthusiast. I've never done a build like this before, but I really want to. I'm waiting for the right opportunity to present itself to buy a truck that isn't in pristine, immaculate condition, because I just wouldn't have the heart to rip one apart. If it was maintained and preserved from that generation, I'd almost want to leave it that way. Whereas when the right opportunity pops up to buy a crew cab like this, I am going to jump on it immediately and do something very, very similar because it's just purely badass. And then back to the exterior real quick, guys. You can see everything's been paint matched. We've got bumpers, headlight bezels, the grille. It's got a DURTYMAX mirror conversion swap on it, which is a super popular modification on these older trucks, and it's cool that it can be done. Our boy DMAX Rhino actually did this on his OBS. Super nice mod because you get a lot of functionality of the DURTYMAX mirror. My question is, though, would it look right leveled? I think you could actually do that, but I haven't seen it done yet. That's just one little change that I would personally make if it was mine, but I naturally started as a DURTYMAX guy, so it's kind of just per the course. And then they have a roll pan in the back here, and even did this brushed aluminum plate kind of to somewhat resemble the platinum tailgate on the newer body style truck. Now, right before we take this thing out for its maiden voyage, we are in the cab of a crew cab OBS, but it doesn't really feel like it would otherwise. Well, that's because it's actually got some swapped in Lariat 6.0 full power and heated seats in this thing. And if there's anything that you know, my OGs know about me, a heated seat is a way to my heart. And as you're sitting in this thing, you can just appreciate the project nature that the truck is. These things are always changing in one way, shape, or form, but you can't help but notice the fact that ever so conveniently right here off the armrest that I wish that they put in newer trucks that they don't anymore, you have yourself a ratchet shifter. That is absolutely bad ass. And you know what, just sitting in this truck, there's like so much room, but there's not at all, if that makes any sense. Essentially, it's the fact that yes, you have a crew cab, but the back seat almost doubles as what would be a double cab in modern day standard, but back in the day, this was huge as the XLT version that it was. From a trim package perspective, it's not like you had 1500 like you do with the modern trucks. It was either XL or XLT. Boys, simplicity is bliss. Now, another thing that's pretty cool about this is, and very relevant to the generation trucks, is the fact that it has power up front, but it's roll up in the back. So if you didn't know, the 7.3s back in the day had power stuff up front, but not in the rear. At least they were considering the driver. Now, another really awesome characteristic to these trucks, it's really cool to sit in here and look around. The pitch of the windshield is almost straight up and down, whereas all the modern vehicles just go way back. You know, I think one of the coolest thing about classic vehicles in general is they're almost like time capsules. When you jump inside of them, you almost like to picture what it used to look like out on the roads with all these really cool, what are now classics cruising around, and then it it was just the norm. So I definitely missed a lot of details on this thing because naturally it would be impossible to hit them all, but I'm getting a little impatient, as I'm sure you probably are. I think we need to start this thing up and go out for our first drive. 12 valve living up to its name. Dudes, this thing looks insane coming down the road. It is so wide. Oh, dudes, that is so sick. Damn, dude. Looks fantastic.
That will never not put a smile on my face.
No, never. I mean, if you see a truck like that rolling down the road and you can't just sit there and admire and appreciate everything that makes it what it is, are you really a true enthusiast? And you are not kidding about the fact that this thing dumps, dude. You know, it was just an absolute loss for the automotive community when they got rid of like drive-by cable and they went to this drive-by wire nonsense. Nah, dude. This is my first ratchet shifter experience too, by the way.
Just don't grab the handle, just pull it all the way back.
Pull it all the way back. So just to run through the sequence here real quick. First gear, second gear, third gear.
Yeah.
That's neutral.
That's neutral. And then you can't push it anymore.
Because that's reverse, and that's what this lockout switch. I'm learning over here. Go ahead. Come on, I'm getting a lesson in ratchet shifters. But it's almost like driving a manual, except you don't have a pedal now.
Yeah, that's a weird concept.
But it's an audible experience. Like you just kind of hear it out. Third gear, chilling.
That's it. 3 speed is all you get.
Yep, 3 speeds. We're cruising, boys. All is good. Like I'm a natural right now.
I just gave it some beans, dude.
All right. We gotta respect the OBS here. Not quite familiar with this thing yet, so I don't want to go kissing any poles or anything like that. You know? It's cool to have that connectedness, whereas in the older trucks, when you drive them, you almost feel like you're waiting for the electronics to like respond, whereas in this, like, you accelerate and it does what you want it to do.
Yeah.
The nice thing about having the 05 axles is you get all the modern dynamics of braking, so you've got your full hydrostatic braking system, and it feels kind of like you're driving what would be like a 6.0, for instance, but you're surrounded by something that's way better looking. Sorry, guys. Sorry. Didn't mean to offend anybody. Check out the view from the twin-turbo FUMMINS OBS. This thing is awesome. Dudes, that made my day. That was easily one of the coolest truck experiences that I've had in a while, because it's not every day that you stumble upon something like this. Aaron, I gotta say thank you so much for trusting me with your baby, dude. I'm not gonna lie, I noticed a little bit of reluctancy and a little hesitation. I was like, hey, can I drive it? But dude, thank you, man. That was absolutely awesome. I feel privileged. I feel as if you trusted me with like your firstborn child with this thing.
Like sometimes I let my dad like drive it like from inside the garage to outside. I'm like, all right, that's
We're good. Just jump out. Everything's fine. Well, how'd I do?
Yeah.
Thank you.
You didn't even get on it.
Yeah, no, I just, as much as I wanted to rip on it, I think that you guys can understand. Just want to respect the build, respect the fact, like, it's different when you're doing it, because God forbid anything was to happen. I just get weird about that kind of thing. But we did make some very, very, very orgasmic sounds, and that I will forever remember. All right, boys, well, that pretty much concludes our time with this thing right here. So if you liked what Aaron put together, you definitely have to give this video a big thumbs up. He's going to be watching. This is a great way to give a lot of recognition to a truck that definitely deserves it. If anything, it really makes me want to do something like this one day, because there's really not all that much pressure associated with it. You can kind of work on it when you want to, and you can really take it any direction you want. The cool thing about a 12 valve swap is the fact that you literally have to wire up like the alternator and the starter. That's pretty much it. You run power to some batteries and then you're ready to rock and roll. Ground a few lines. It's relatively simple. And what's even cooler about it is it's become an increasingly more popular swap to get more power out of what is a very cool chassis. I've always been a huge fan of retrofitted conversions, but this one definitely takes the cake. So again, guys, if you want, give Standout Specialties a follow on Instagram. I'm sure they would really appreciate it. Oh, are we switching? You got the keys already? I don't think you have them. See you, dude. There you go, bud. Have fun. I'm all right with the swap. Oh my God! Why is the seat this far forward?
I don't know. I thought you did that.
Dude!
You guys don't drive like this? Airbag goes off. Whoa! But the nice thing is you just press that and there she goes.
Do you even know where that's gonna go? Did you pre-program your?
Absolutely not, I didn't. It's probably gonna take me back to the bed.
That's actually not bad.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
I personally like to ride the seat down as far as possible. Not really lean back all that much though, because when you got 14 wides, you kind of need to be super, super aware of your surroundings. Otherwise, you're gonna have a bad time. Future advice for you if you take this truck home. Hey, yo, what's happening, DURTYMAX brethren? I think he's off to have a good time. Little pit stop here at the end of the vlog. We're out here at Skyview Equipment, and they may or may not have just ordered me in my first mod for the new SVL 90, and we may or may not be picking that up today. Real quick, scroll moment, look at that freaking view.
I wonder why they call this place Skyview.
Nothing has ever made more sense in my entire life. And they've always got the best parts.
We shall see.
Oh yeah. Well, boys, that's where we're gonna wrap up this video. We'll pick up with this one, hopefully, in the next few days. We've got a lot of really exciting things going on. Mods are on their way in for this thing. I've got some ideas. I don't really know. It's kind of hard to take an already amazing looking platform and change it, but that's what we're gonna do. And I think you guys are gonna like what's in store. Grab some entries for this big beast if you want to get 10 times entries before they end tomorrow. On your way out, tap that thumbs up, subscribe button, and notification bell so you can't miss out on Jake sitting down somewhere. We'll see y'all in the next upload.